Both of these men check all of those boxes. Are they both in the same market for a very fancy luxury watch? Maybe, but likely not. Why? Because we're defining our audience by demographics. Today, I want to talk about the luxury marketing delusion, which honestly, it's really just the target marketing delusion. One thing that I think every brand or company struggles with is not just identifying their target audience, but really understanding them. And whether you are a big consumer brand or you are a B2B or you're a solo entrepreneur, understanding not just who you think your audience is, but who they actually are and what they actually need, not just talking about your products, your benefits, your services, but what they are really seeking to become or looking for when they use your products or services or ideas is one of the biggest keys to any business success. Well and above, I would say, at a certain part, quality is subjective and marginal. If something functions great, obviously the better the quality, better. But at a certain point, if you're not positioning it to an audience and it doesn't resonate with them, it doesn't matter. I remember taking Marketing 101 and they taught us target market, define your target market. The more specific, the better. And then when I started working in data science and research for a marketing firm, again, it was, let's go really niche. Let's dive really, really deeply. I remember it got so specific that even a international department store would have personas so specific, mostly to demographics, that would say, we have Cindy who lives on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, who has been educated at a boarding school on the Northeast, and blah, 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 blah. And she likes to wear these kind of flats. And she doesn't work, but she loves to participate in philanthropy. And then we have Susan, who is a high-profile lawyer who hustles her way up. And this is what she's searching for, and blah, blah, blah. That time, it worked to an extent. But the larger issue is the world has changed. And no longer can we really be defined by demographics leading the way. And I would call this by shifting the model to needs-based target marketing, meaning demographics can be used as descriptors, but the needs got to be first. And when I say needs, I don't necessarily mean food, water, shelter. I mean whatever it is that people are seeking. And an example that I want to share with you is I love luxury watches. I don't collect them, but let's say we have a luxury watch brand where the prices of these watches range from tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars to millions of dollars. And the collectors of these watches are assumingly audience is men between the ages of, let's say, 45 to 70 who have been raised in the UK, that have a boarding school education, probably divorced at least once, had kids from a previous marriage, have a lot of disposable income, high net wealth, like to ski in the Alps, have a dog they love. All of these things are all markers of demographics of who that person is. Now look at the two profiles just based on just the look alone of this guy, we'll call him Richard, and this guy, call him Stuart. Both of these men check all of those boxes. Yet, which of these men do you think, or maybe both, are they both in the same market for a very fancy luxury watch? Maybe, but likely not. Why? Because we're defining our audience by demographics and letting that lead. When now the world is so connected that you could be in a small town in the middle of nowhere and still have access to all the information and have an obsession with Chanel and save up all your money for a Chanel bag. What I'm trying to say is that we are more connected based on values, on aspirations, on what we're seeking. And that has changed with the access to worldwide information and the internet and instantaneous everything. So rather than leading with demographics, let the needs, and again, needs meaning what are these people seeking? What do they want to become? What gap are they filling? What problem are you solving? Versus so-and-so in this classification, in this socioeconomic division, blah, 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 blah. We really need to start changing the way that we think about who our audience is and who might be even the right audience, who oftentimes founders, where we go wrong, and I'm guilty of this myself, is we tend to think that our target audience is who we think it is, when actually there's a much better fit target audience out there, but it's not in the same way that we have viewed our product or service or concept. So with that, I would love to hear certain brands that you're interested in what their target audience is, or where you think maybe you have a company or a brand and you might think that this is who I think I'm targeting. Is this right? What are we really solving here? I can't wait to see. I'm hoping that you guys leave some responses in the comments below. I read and respond to all of them, and I hope to see you next week on the next video. Have a great one.